Hello, and welcome back to the RF Fitness Podcast. I am your host, Rob Finlayson, certified personal trainer, elder brother, and airplane cookie enjoyer. I am here with my co-host.
Rachel Hammerwood, younger sister, certified fit person. And wait, no, that wasn't my line. Certified. Ooh, what did? Oh man, airplane gummy bear lover. I had some
They
gummy
have gummy
bears
bears on the plane?
Yeah, because we flew first class, baby.
We did.
And there was like some vegan, organic, low sugar gummy bears that actually slapped.
Kind of slap. I
Yeah.
didn't see that as an option. Hi, everyone.
Because they're very small. They're a very small bag.
Oh, I was looking at them big ass cookies. Hi, everyone. We're coming to you like 2.5 weeks after our most recent episode release. Some stuff came up, a lot of it technological in nature. We did try really hard to record an episode for the one on the normal thing, but our tech was acting a damn fool and it just wasn't working out, so we took a skip. We took the L for that week.
We did.
This past weekend, we were in Indiana seeing some family. This is why we took an airplane ride. We just took an airplane ride.
Airplane ride.
Can you tell I have a 5-year-old and I talk about things in these terms?
No, we didn't go for a flight. We went for an airplane ride.
Who takes flights when you could go on an airplane ride? Doesn't that sound like more fun? I mean, it was fun. It was in first class, which I've never experienced before, which is like the other classes, but less poor.
Correct.
I think that's the whole point.
Yeah. If it was the Titanic, we would have survived.
That's true. Well, you would have for sure. I might have been passed over. I don't know. For first, did all the first class passengers on Titanic survive?
I don't know.
That
Probably not.
That sounds like a very upsetting statistic to look up, and I'm not going to do it right now.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. So I did want to, because it's been a few weeks, I do want to speed run our check-in questions, Rachel, if that's all right with you.
That's all right with me, Rob.
Quick. Let's go,
Robbie, because all I heard was you being called Robbie this weekend.
Because we were with our family, and that's what I was called when I was a small child, and all these people
Robbie
knew me
and Rachel, and then you're
child.
being introduced to these other grown men as Robbie.
You know what? I'm never going to see those people again for as long as I live. I don't think it's a huge deal.
Fair enough.
And you know what? If I do, that's fine. I can be like, actually, Rob is fine. I'm 36 years old, have a mortgage and a child. You can call me Rob. That'd be great. Rachel, would you please for me rate the last period on a 1 to 5 scale? The period of time between our last episode or last check-in. On a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being very poor, 5 being very good, and maybe give me a little explanation as to why you'd score it that way.
2.75.
That's very specific. I'd love to know more.
Thank you. Because it is the entire span, so it's also like slightly hard for me to remember back that far.
Honestly.
Yeah, I had full intentions of eating 100% on plan when we were away. And then that family food got me, and
sure did, bud.
Yeah. I definitely did not go as hard as I wanted to.
Very true.
So those brownies though. I had like one brownie when I wanted 26 brownies. Yeah, and I'm just like looking back a little bit on Insta and stuff, but I mean, yeah, not bad by any means. That's why it's an out of 1. Not perfect because mostly of the weekend, Indiana weekend, and yeah, I probably could have been like more active and stuff like that, but definitely have been keeping up on my Instagram post game.
You have. I appreciate that. Good tracking.
Which I think it's funny though, because I've had recently some more people follow me on Instagram, and I feel like they're
Hmm.
like Ethan, your homie,
Yes.
followed me on Instagram, and I'm wondering if maybe they're hoping to see like some
Or the
thing about,
posts. Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, oh no.
Sorry, that's behind the scenes shit. That's
That
that's
is
that's
BTS baby.
that's double diamond platinum Patreon level tier shit.
Yes, we should start a Patreon. Is if you want to see my logs, yeah, you got to pay us like
Private
$20 a month.
access.
Yeah,
Honestly, dude, if that's a low barrier of entry for us to make an easy $20 a month, I'd be fine.
hell yeah,
Um,
you can look at all my shit for $20.
wow,
Um,
that's a
on
different
Instagram.
that's a different website altogether. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, that's OnlyFans.
yeah,
So
yeah. 2.75.
yeah,
Not too bad,
yeah,
not too good.
yeah,
Over the 50%, so we're over the midway line,
yeah.
which I can dig right now. So
Honestly, I'm
what's
kind of
yeah?
like looking back at the last 2.5 weeks. I'm like,
Mhm.
bruh, it might be more like a 3.
I was a little surprised that you rated yourself as a under 3 because I think we're doing pretty good,
Yeah.
even with the
Well,
weekend,
because
which was
yeah, I've been hovering around just under that goal weight. Um,
you've been mentioning that, tracking that in your Instagram posts, and from what
mhm.
you've tracked, you've been consistently under, but you're right, hovering, which is kind of how it
Yes.
works. It doesn't just like bottom out like a roller coaster. It's not the power tower.
I want it to
It's
be the power tower.
it's the lazy river. Um, it's the hard work river because it actually takes a lot
Okay,
of
here we
effort. It's not
go.
lazy at all.
Side story already.
Okay, all right.
I can't remember what lazy river we were at, but some lazy river. And I had always heard, just like I think every kid had heard in their life, that if you pee in the pool, it turns some sort of color.
Yeah,
Yeah, so everybody knows. I have
yeah.
no idea if that technology is true or
The
exists.
100% is not real.
Okay.
0% chance. No.
All right, fair enough. And I remember I was going on the lazy river and I was just living my best life and I kind of had to pee and I was just like, I mean, this is the lazy river.
Oh my god. Let's test it.
I was just like, but I'm just so terrified of this shit, like turning
Yeah,
purple or whatever.
yeah.
And then I remember like I started peeing, and then like I turned the corner, I saw a lifeguard, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna see the purple.
My purple stream
Yes.
behind me.
I was so panicked, and I was like
Excuse me,
trying to
miss. Looks
look
like you've got your
cool.
own lazy river going on right there.
Gross.
I agree. That is disgusting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why. Oh god, like kids' water parks and stuff are just so chloriney.
Yeah, because people urinate in them all
I
the
know.
time.
Oh god, it's so gross.
Yeah. Anyways, next question. What's working for you right now? What's been going really well?
Mm, I think maybe.
Because I have an idea if you don't have one.
Okay, yeah, shoot.
I think I have clocked in you a really positive like mindset shift
Okay,
in the
that's what I was
past
gonna
2 weeks,
kind of say.
especially. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Your attitude towards the whole thing, I think, is we've really turned a corner on it. I think I can remember it was the last episode, or in the episode that we haven't been able to get around to yet. But like you brought up like listening to yourself back at the podcast to realize that like, am I the person who hates fat people? Is it because I
Hmm.
hate myself? And I think I saw in you like a turning point in the way you've been thinking about this and approaching about this whole thing, and like becoming like this hashtag fit person, like
Hmm.
picturing yourself as a different, like creating this mental avatar of yourself. And I think that really kind of rolls into this dream board thing that we've been talking about a little bit as well. But I think that's been really working for you, like a big mindset shift for you lately.
Yeah, absolutely agree that. I talked about it in my last post on Instagram. That is for BTS. If you want to see it, pay $20 a
$20 a
month.
month, yeah. We gotta stop making that
um,
joke, or we're gonna have to do it.
yeah, honestly. Um, that the weekend was lackluster, but I woke up the next morning on Monday and I was like, let's get back at it. And I was genuinely excited to get back on my game as I referred to, get back into my Fit Rachel skin suit
Ugh.
that you. I could
And
change
I
it to
hate and I
flesh
hate that
outfit.
you. Oh God, you know it could be worse. I
Flesh
guess you're
outfit
right.
or skin suit. Pick your poison.
Oh boy.
Pick your
I mean,
costume.
just like just like just like body is fine.
Nope, never gonna stop. So anyway,
Okay.
um yeah, I think and it's so I posted the Instagram picture that I chose to post of saying like I was all excited or whatever was the
Mhm.
picture of the cousins
Yeah.
at in Indiana. And I was just like, man, I have like this mindset change of I'm a fit per like I am a fit person and
Mhm.
I am genuinely kind of enjoying this healthy change in life. But
Yeah.
then man, I still look like such a fat piece of shit in that picture.
I think of all the pictures that we had to choose from, this is the best one, the one that you chose
Yeah, I agree. But also like
of the group of
people
us.
did not people did not commit to the middle finger. Like Bud committed and I
So
committed.
okay,
Oh, just
in the
Garrett.
picture that we're in the picture that we're looking at, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us cousins standing together. This is one of like 10 fucking photos we took in the same pose of like all of us grouped together, like act like you love each other. And then
Yes.
some, I think Bud suggested like everyone throw the middle finger but secret.
Yes.
So it's like a subtle middle finger. You've got one. I've got one going, but it's in the pocket of my jeans.
How
You can see John's got it's the word is
that
secret.
yeah. Guess who isn't doing
Yeah,
it? Pete.
I mean maybe you can't. It's hard to see.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't see all his hands. Anyways, yeah, I think part of that good mindset shift is you've been reading a new book lately, right?
Yes. I mean
Do you want to
I
do
don't
we
know
want
if
to
it's
shout out someone else's product again real quick?
always Atomic Habits
Yeah.
by James Clear, suggested by my chiropractor, who he was the one that passed on the Atomic Habits
Mhm.
lesson of identify yourself as who you want to be.
Right.
He talks about external and internal goals, um, and that if you to change your identity is like the most internal thing
Yeah.
versus changing your actions and stuff like that, but to make the most impactful change that you should go from the inside out versus the outside in kind of thing, like I'm going to take all these actions and then become this person. um
Mm.
so that's the
Like
idea
I'm gonna
of
like thinking of it like I'm gonna be this person and my actions will then reflect that.
correct.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm going to be a fit person. What would he uses the example of one of his friends lost over 100 pounds by saying like, what would a healthy person do?
Yeah.
Um, and I've said that a few times to myself, and I'm like, what would a healthy person do? I don't give a shit because Fat Rachel wants
I'm eating
Fat
this
Rachel
fucking
wants this
brownie.
brownie.
Yeah. Odd.
Oh yeah,
But I think the fact that we're cognizant of that happening still is good.
very
Uh
true.
yeah. I'll digress right now. We're not through all of our questions yet. That's fine. I do want to talk about one of the things we tried to talk about in a previous episode attempt when we tried to record whatever was this Taco Bell airbag event, #airbag event, where you would have had just like one of the shittiest stretches for like 48 hours, it sounds like anyone can deal with.
Yeah. Hmm.
And it's not like anything was like catastrophically wrong. It's just like one of those stretches of time where like all the dumb, shitty things are kind of piling up all at once.
Kind of. It was mostly a hashtag trigger event.
Sure. Yeah.
My yeah, to like quickly go over it, my smoke
Yeah.
alarms went off and like wouldn't stop going off randomly. That was the worst part.
Yeah. That
Um,
sucks.
yeah, and we had a house fire about 4 years ago, so
Yeah.
that was
Hashtag
less
triggering.
than ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not awesome. So yeah, that was extremely stressful for you. Had some nights of some like not sleeping basically, and then
Correct.
you sort of had a moment of want. So to recall the way you described it to me, it's like you were driving around or something, and you had the idea, the thought, the craving came to you like, I just want to eat like 30 fucking Taco Bell tacos.
Mm-hmm.
And you like, there's this extended like internal struggle of like, I should do it, I should not do it. It's not like goal forward. Like, you know, you're going through all the language in your head. Like, this isn't goal forward. This is not like who I'm trying to internalize being. This is not a fit Rachel decision. And then you wind up going for it and getting the tacos, but you don't get 30, right?
Right.
You get like some much more moderate amount of
Mm-hmm.
Tex-Mex junk food from the drive-through. And you described eating it, and I think like you talked about like eating a piece of pizza or something like that earlier, like you eat it and you kind of feel like physically shitty afterwards. Like you don't
Mm-hmm.
feel, yeah, like you don't feel better. Like, the surprising part is you don't feel better
Yeah,
after it.
man. And it's like,
Yeah,
that's not going to make you feel better. Something
yeah.
that I've been trying to like also remind myself of is like, is this actually self-care? Is it
Mm,
self-care to stay up late, doom scroll, and eat Taco Bell? Or is it actually self-care to take a shower, do my skincare, go to bed early, and read a book or something like that?
yeah.
So yeah, this, which we can go further into later on, but the Atomic Habits book has definitely got me on my habit game of
Ooh,
doing hashtag self-care. Um,
yeah.
so
Is that where all this self-care stuff kind of stems from? Is this Atomic Habits? Does that particular language crop up in the book?
no. So they were talking, well, I got the idea from habit stacking. So like,
Sure, yeah.
yeah, you brush your teeth, then you inherently put your moisturizer on, then you inherently brush your
Mhm.
hair, and blah blah blah. So, and that has been, I think, a big saving grace for me. Because even like in Indiana, when I was eating like shit, or whatever you want to call it, I'm sure Missy will ding me for saying that, but
I mean, I'll say this: we weren't eating healthily, but we also didn't have a lot of other options.
very true.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think I would not be who I I would not be fit Rachel food wise, but I think
Mhm.
fit Rachel also just includes prioritizing self-care, which I have now done a tiny bit of a skin routine, which is very odd for me.
Okay.
I just very naturally had beautiful skin throughout my entire life. So I didn't
Wow.
have
Cool.
I don't-
So happy for you.
yeah, well, it sounds like how I feel about you being in shape.
Okay,
So
well, that's not something that happened naturally. Please go on.
yeah, so anyway, now I've been having to prioritize my skin, because I'm off birth control, and birth control,
Mhm.
man, if if you have bad skin,
Yeah.
get on birth control.
Is this a
um
recommendation? Should I try it?
get Yes, you could get pregnant at any moment.
Oh my god, for real? I could be pregnant right now. I wouldn't even know. I've never been on birth control.
It's pretty awful, but it makes your skin look good. um but yeah, so I would eat the brownie, and then but I would still do like shower or wash my face, do the whole skincare thing,
Mhm.
um still prioritizing. So I'll be like, even if I'm at home and I didn't eat wonderful, instead of just like, I don't know, going to bed and being like, oh man, I ate like shit and I'm a piece of shit. And I'll be like, maybe I didn't have the most incredible day, but I'm going to like end it with self love,
Yeah.
and um, know that I'm still investing in myself and I deserve that.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. That's so good. Oh, oh, yes. Like, I'm like fist pumping right now.
You are fist bumping.
Booyah, dude. That's good shit. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Good
It's a
for
good,
you.
yeah, good mindset thing to change. I think, yeah, the first step of not, or I think, yeah, the first step of learning to love yourself is realizing that you hate yourself. Depending on how far you've gone down.
How far on the spectrum you are on the little self-hate well.
Yeah.
It's a deep well. It goes on for a long, long time.
Sure does. I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, yeah. I'm like the girl in the ring trying to like creep out of the well.
Okay, now you're talking about your own trigger shit again.
Oh God.
This
I didn't know you knew how fucked up I was from that movie.
I lived with you, my guy.
That's yeah. Yeah. The ring
I
is
would
what triggered the dead girl in the shower thing.
yes.
Even though there was no dead girls in the shower
There's no
in
shower
the
scene in that
ring.
movie.
There was
No.
no shower
You might be
scene, but
conflating it with Psycho, which is also a good movie, but not as scary. It's only not as scary as The Ring. That movie did make me lose sleep, The Ring.
so scary.
I mean, definitely I think this is the first like horror movie I think I really watched.
Yep, same.
Yeah. And boy, what a what a jump in, huh?
Honestly, we should stop talking about it because
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Next question. What obstacles are still in the way? What are we still working on?
What obstacles are still in the way? Probably, I'm definitely still struggling with enjoying healthy food. Um, um, I mean, I'd be lying if it's not a struggle every day to not be like, fuck this, let's get Jets or
Sure.
Taco Bell or, something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was thinking about the fact that, it's 100% I have an eating addiction.
Mhm.
And I like have seen all these like TikToks and shit about like people that are recovering from actual drugs and they're like, we do recover and I don't know, I think about the fact that I'm like, oh, this could also be like my recovery thing, like this whole
Yeah.
process, the recovery from my food addiction. Which obviously is in two parts, mental and physical.
Mhm.
But the fact that like I have never been addicted to hard drugs. I don't know about it, but you cannot go get heroin at a drive-through or you can't go get heroin door dashed.
I don't think so anyway.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I've never tried. Um but like it's just like it's so fucked up that my drug of choice is
Yes.
so available.
It's hyper accessible, and I think it's a big part of why it's so common and
Right.
difficult to kick. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's just it's like, man, I want to be fit Rachel, but it is so easy
Yes.
to choose not fit Rachel choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think is that's the real battle. And that's what we've talked about a lot of times, that the system is stacked intentionally to
Hmm.
make it so hard to choose anything else.
Right. Right.
Right.
Like
Like
even with like drinking or smoking cigarettes or something like that, you have to go to like a specific store,
yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. You have to pay a lot of money for it. Like smoking is
Mhm.
exorbitantly expensive now.
It should be.
And there's like there's been like right, yeah, and there's been like a generation probably long campaign against cigarettes now about how
Hmm.
they are actually dangerous and stuff like that. And I think there was like a little push against like fast food and like processed food and like an earnest
Yeah,
honest
like
to God push.
dude, do you remember Fruitopia? Fruitopia juices. They had them in the middle
Oh.
school. They like had weird writing. Like, bitch, Google it because it will it will make your memories come flooding back. I can't remember where I saw it, but I was just like, oh my god, Fruitopia! Because I
Oh shit,
always
Fruitopia. This is definitely just all sugar.
yes, it is, and it's so good.
Fruitopia nutrition facts,
Oh
nutrition
no.
label.
God, wait, like we
Oh,
were on such a high of enjoying Fruitopia, and then
let's see. Fruitopia per 1 cup, 250 milliliters, calories 90. Not bad. For juice.
yeah,
Fats 0, carbohydrates 24 grams, protein 0.1 grams. Weird to even
Ooh.
put it in there. Sugars, 23 grams.
That's not
That's
as bad as
like
I
on a
thought.
juice box. That's on a juice box, though.
Right. But I mean, like, the Milo's lemonade is like 64 grams of sugar or something per
You're
serving.
bringing that
Granted,
because we were drinking Milo's lemonade in Indiana this weekend.
yes.
Yes.
And I made Milo's lemonade my enemy up until like the very last day. And I'm like, all right, Milo, you've convinced me.
Wow. Okay, hold on. So I'm looking up Juicy Juice nutrition label.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the
Do
juice
they even
box, Juicy
sell
Juice.
Juicy Juice anymore?
Apparently. Walmart's got it.
Huh.
Juicy Juice nutrition facts. One box, 125 milliliters, calories 60, less than the Fruitopia.
Okay.
Total sugars 14 grams.
Not the worst.
Yeah, less than the Fruitopia.
How many added sugars?
It's 0 added sugars. It's all fruit. So that's the thing about fruit juice is that. So here's the thing. When people ask me about, Rob, should I drink juice? Should I eat fruit? Isn't
Those
fruit
are
juice?
two completely different
They're
questions.
very well. You'd think so, but because we grew up drinking juicy and Fruitopia, there's this like association like fruit juice counts as a fruit. You drink so many glasses of fruit juice in a day, that's you have a serving of fruit. Right? Wrong. Incorrect.
Who would think that?
You'd be surprised. So a lot of fruit. The problem with fruit juice is that it has so much sugar, and that you don't have to have added sugar for it to be basically all sugar. It's all fructose, right? Because that's why fruit tastes good. It has natural sugar in it.
Right.
Fruit itself. So I guess sometimes maybe that's a backwards way to approach the question. Sometimes what people are really asking is like, should I eat fruit? Because I know that fruit juice is this like insidious sugar bomb.
Oh, okay.
Right. Which is, I think, a logical way to like work backwards from that. Like, I know that fruit juice is not great. Is fruit okay? Fruit is okay. I have never. What are you looking at?
All
What are you
the
doing right
fucking spiders in my house.
now? Hot.
They are crawling. They are crawling. They are nesting. They are everywhere. Oh, I'm not like terrified of spiders, but I'm not a fan when there's 13 around me.
Just see. So on the call, I can see Rachel. No one else can because it's a podcast. It's an audio medium. But I see Rachel suddenly looking over her shoulder like people are honking at her in traffic.
The spiders are honking. Title: Spiders are honking.
I'm running it down. Spiders are honking. So fruit juice.
Yes. Okay, sorry. The tiniest. Sorry, no. I'm gonna tell a story. Shut up.
Oh my god. Okay.
When we were talking to Aunt Anne about the podcast, our sweet Aunt Anne does not cuss very much or at all, and we were both prefacing that it came with the episodes do have quite a bit of cussing, and
Yes.
she said, well, what's the first episode, because she like went on her browser or whatever, and I was just like, so the first episode is called Black Belt and Shaving Dog Ass. Be sure to listen.
Give it a listen. So Mo showed our podcast to her mom, who also is not a cusser or a podcast person in general. And apparently I've put the explicit tag on all of her episodes except the first one, because I think I just didn't know to do it at that point yet.
Yeah, I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah. And she's like, all of them are explicit. Let's not listen to those. Let's listen to this first one. And I think we dropped the F-bomb like 5 times in the first 2 minutes. She said.
Sorry, Chevy.
Sorry. Also, the name of the episode is Black Belt and Shaving Dog Ass. So I don't know how surprised it can really be.
Yeah. Okay, so
anyways, fruit, you eat as much fruit as you want. It's full of fiber. There's a shit ton of vitamins and micronutrients in it. Eat fruit. You're not going to get fat from eating fruit. You can't. Here's the thing about whole foods. You almost physically can't eat enough to get fat just from it, to gain like a ton of excess body weight.
That makes sense.
The reason why it's easy to get like Rachel's looking around like a dog,
I'm trying not to
hearing
look.
dogs across the street.
I'm trying not to look. They're
He's in the tree. They're in the goddamn walls. It is physically difficult to eat enough whole foods to the point where you are going to become like horribly overweight from it, because it's just difficult to eat that much food. It's so
right.
it's so dense. It's nutrient dense and it's very satiating because it's a whole food. It's not processed. It takes
Right.
more space up in your physical stomach. Things like Taco Bell, hamburgers, chicken nuggets, Oreos, whatever, they're all very processed and they have this hyper palatability thing engineered
Just
into them.
listing all of my favorite foods.
Exactly. But the thing is, they're here's something that turned me off to it for a while. I was doing my nutrition coaching cert with Precision Nutrition. And one of the things they talk about is the process of how your body digests food.
Yes.
Because your body processes food. So we talk about whole foods, processed foods, whatever. Your body processes food. The first thing your body does to process food is to chew it and to salivate into it. That's the first way your body begins to digest.
Gross.
So when we talk about processed foods and why it's so easy to eat like such a high volume of a really normally a very high calorie whole food would take a while to eat because it's like a whole steak, whatever.
See what you're saying?
But you can eat an entire Big Mac because it's basically pre-chewed for you.
It's fucking gross.
That's how it's delivered to you.
Like a baby bird.
Yes. That's something that helped me, because I don't have a big fast food habit. There's occasionally sometimes when I would get the chicken nugget. Well, I have a fucking 5-year-old, so I'll go to McDonald's sometimes, whatever. But thinking of it as this has been pre-chewed, fully gave me the ick about so much processed food to the point where I don't even want to I don't want to even want to eat the Oreos. I do. I still do. Or the Pop-Tarts or whatever. That stuff's a little bit, but meat especially, burgers and stuff, is this is pre-chewed food, dude. Blech.
Burger? What? Ground beef?
Ground beef
is processed?
Yes, because it's not a hunk of meat cut off of a cow. If it doesn't resemble the native muscle status, it is technically processed. It has gone through a process of preparation. So there are degrees, of processing.
I mean, it definitely looks like baby bird food, but I thought because so actually, it didn't have.
I think beef is a really good example for this because there's a lot of ways to consume animal protein, beef especially.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the cow. The least processed way is to get what you guys get, a whole cow. And then you slice off steaks, ribs, whatever. That is technically when you take meat off of an animal, it is called processing the animal.
Mm-hmm.
There's a process. We're talking about word and a little bit of we're getting into some semantics here. But that's okay, I nerd about this shit too. Prepare your eye glaze, nerds.
Prepare your donuts.
Prepare your donuts for the eye glaze.
Ew.
Yes. So to grind that meat then is also another form of processing.
Mm-hmm.
That we have the raw ground beef, which you can get at the store or from your freezer, whatever. That is technically a processed food, but it is still less processed than a now cooked, seasoned, prepared, packaged hamburger that you get like a Big Mac is the amount of time and effort.
You mean. Okay.
Yes. The amount of hands that have touched, the amount of machinery that has gone through it, the amount of ways its chemical structure has been changed. And I don't say chemical like a capital C scare TikTok. Your chemical structure changes when you apply heat to things.
For sure.
That's how cooking happens. The amount of chemical changes it has gone through structurally, the amount of processing that it goes through makes it much more hyper-palatable. It is easier for you to eat a lot of them because it is pre-chewed.
Mm-hmm.
Yuck.
Yeah, when I think hamburgers, I just think the way we do hamburgers.
Right.
And I never have I rarely eat beef outside of our house because my husband gets a cow from his buddy that's grass-fed Angus beef.
Yeah.
Bloopity blah blah, so everything else tastes like made of trash garbage.
And it is.
That's true, honestly.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And I think that actually, I'm going on another aside. Strap in. I think what you bring up there, like when you say hamburger, I think of this, illustrates a really important and not often bring up point that food, we're talking about food addiction, especially here, food is such, it's really weird because it is at once this completely universal human experience, but it is also extremely subjective. Like when I
Mm.
say hamburger, I think of, like I said, Big Mac like 6 times already. Sponsors. You think of the ones that you and Eric make.
Yes.
So people listening, when I say hamburger, are thinking of some other image conjures in their mind, right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So like when I experience this a lot, I think this kind of like linguistic disconnect of like the words I'm saying are putting into your brain a picture that is different than the picture that is in my brain when I say it. When I was doing a lot of consultations at the YMCA when I worked there, of being like, so what do you normally eat? Like a lot of, I was like, oh, I eat healthy, I eat good foods, but I often eat too much of it. And it's like, okay, well, I didn't dig too much deeper than that because I just didn't have the time, and I was very new at training still. I was a little
Right.
bit green. I know now better to dig in. Like, what do you mean by healthy food? What does that look like to you?
Mm-hmm.
So healthy food. So if I say I eat a lot of vegetables, for me that could be like today we had frozen vegetable medley and chicken thigh for dinner with the kid. She actually ate it. Holy shit, big win. Major high five.
What?
I know, I was shocked. Olivia's a notoriously picky eater.
She ate the vegetables and the chicken?
She did not eat the chicken. I gave her chicken nuggets. I gave her dino nuggies.
Okay,
I
but
I know better.
damn.
I know. I was
Wow.
surprised. It took some work. It took some work.
Okay. Did she like eat all of it and enjoyed it, or was it?
She she walked up to her plate. She goes, "Bleh, what's that?" And I said, "It's vegetables." And she goes, "I hate vegetables." It's like, you didn't even know what it is. I fucking hate her. She's such a fucking hater sometimes. God, I love this kid so much. She's such a fucking hater sometimes. But yeah, so then she ate the chicken nuggies, and then she ate the little tortilla shreds that I had put on her plate because she just needed something else to fill up the third
Right.
triangle on her plate. And then she's like, maybe I could get a little treat after dinner. Maybe I could have a
Her and the
fortune.
treats.
I know. Maybe she's like, maybe I could have a little fortune cookie because I spied a fortune cookie in the back of our pantry from like 6 months ago, and she fucking wants it.
Delicious.
Sugar cardboard, whatever it is.
I
And we're
hate
like,
fortune cookies.
they're not awesome.
Yeah.
And Mo and I were both like, fortune cookie sounds like something for kids who eat dinner. And she's like, she's like, and she starts like, I gave her a spoon and everything. She's like, starts like going with her hands, with a little pinchy claw. She's like, all right, I'm gonna eat this, whatever it is. And we're like, green bean. It's good. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna eat. And so she's like, okay, I know that I like carrots. Eats a carrot. I know that I like cone. Eats the cone.
Corn.
And
Oh.
corn, yeah. Corn, little corn kernels. And then she's like, oh, and she goes, oh, what's this little round guy? It's like, it's a pea.
Round guy.
I know. And I'm like, I like peas. I think they're kind of sweet and they have a lot of protein. She goes,
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, she's like, oh, protein, huh? We talked a lot today about how big her muscles are getting. Because she's very proud of her muscles, which she should be.
Yeah, for sure.
So she eats the peas and she goes, that's good too. And then she fucking snarfs the whole thing. It's like, yes, everyone who's had a toddler knows what the fuck I'm talking about. It's like,
yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
you fucking hater. Eat the fucking food.
I've been putting nutritional yeast on.
You talked about that in the last one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Linnea's veggies, and she really likes that.
Does that like change the flavor?
Yeah, it's kind of like slightly cheesy tasting.
Okay.
I've been thinking about getting her like her own little like spice shaker so she can add it to the food.
That is a super fucking good idea, dude. I should do that. Pro tip to parents out there. Yeah. So anyways, when I say I eat a lot of vegetables, that's kind of what I'm thinking of. Or like the just raw spinach that's sitting in my fridge. When some of these people who come in say I eat a lot of vegetables, I might be thinking of like nacho cheese on top of like steamed broccoli or whatever.
Oh.
They might be thinking of baked potatoes. They might be thinking of French fries. They might be thinking,
What's up with corn?
Expand.
You expand.
On that question. Sorry, expand on that question, please. What do you mean? What's up with corn? There's a lot.
No, so I was eating like a burrito bowl thing or whatever, and I put corn in it, and I was talking to my friend, and we were both just like, is corn good for you? Is corn bad for you? Does corn hold any nutritional value at all?
Ah,
Why? Because it's so good.
it is so good. Okay. Rachel, you have unwittingly activated one of my special interests.
Corn?
Yes, because in college, I got my degree in anthropology with a focus in pre-Columbian archaeology, South
And
and Central
corn.
America, specifically Mexico, specifically the Aztecs and the Mayans,
Minor eating corn.
for whom corn, maize, was
Mm-hmm.
a literally sacred crop. It was like the cornerstone. It was literally the cornerstone of their civilization was
Okay.
corn and
That's how I
cacao.
feel.
I mean, it is still today, in a slightly different way. We don't knowingly pay homage to the corn god at all times, although we probably do. So corn started as grass. And it had these little grains on it. You can see it right now when you go look at your corn cobs. It doesn't always grow that big. It used to look like grass and prairies does now with a little fuzzy guy on top. Yeah, but then
What?
like 1,000 years ago, people said, these are yummy, I can eat these, and they started carrying it with them, and it would fall out of their bags, or they'd eat one and the rest would spread, and then more of that type of corn would grow, blah, 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 blah. Natural selection happens, and then some intentional selection happens, and we start getting corn with these bigger and bigger seeds, bigger and bigger kernels, and the ancient Mexicans discovered like we can do so much with this stuff. So the same reason that we see so much corn in everything we eat, touch, see, and do, same thing for happened then. It's a fucking hyper versatile, not just plant but material to do things
Mm-hmm.
with.
Right.
It was a cornerstone of civilization because it was kind of like rice was, I guess, for a lot of Asia. It grows extremely fast, and you can do a lot of things with it, with your nutrition, with your diet. For them, the type of corn they were eating is very different from the type of corn that we eat today. What we eat today is pretty much exclusively yellow sweet corn.
Right.
And there's a lot of different other corns out there. There's obviously like heirloom gem corn, and then there's like fuel corn and feed corn, which is for animals or for making into plastics, whatever. But we eat sweet corn basically. They were eating stuff that's a little bit different, I think. Their corn had a little bit more natural nutritional properties to it, but it still by itself was an incomplete nutritional profile. They had to mix it with like beans and chilies, and then it became this like fucking powerhouse. So does corn have nutritional value? Yes and no. It has a little bit by itself, not a whole lot.
Right.
Mostly it's a lot of like starches and sugars when we
Right.
eat it. It usually also comes with a lot of riders like butter and salt,
For
which
sure.
is not awesome. However, it can become this complete protein if you mix it with chili or with beans, black beans, lentils, that sort of thing. So it can be very nutritional. It can be very delicious. It's a little bit of a different flavor profile, I think, than we're used to experiencing corn in to get a lot of the nutritional payout to it. To make like I don't know what the word would be, like a compote or whatever with it.
Yeah.
Or like a corn salsa, I guess, really is what we're talking about here, like a corn salsa.
Man, do I love corn salsa.
Check the nutritional facts. As long as it's not like a shit ton of like added sugar or whatever, salsa actually
like homemade corn salsa. Mom makes killer corn salsa.
Yeah. Salsa fucking slaps, by the way. I think it gets overlooked as like an opportunity to get a lot of vegetables basically for free in your diet. But salsa is just basically a vegetable soup that you put on a taco.
Get true that, man. I love salsa, like on my eggs and shit.
Dude, for sure. Get that fucking salsa in your face, guys. Those of you who are listening. I digress. We've digressed. So
we need to move on.
Okay. Corn rant over. You're welcome, everyone. You can thank Rachel for activating my special interest.
Corn.
Next question on. Remember when we were going to speed run our check-in?
Yeah.
Next question. What's the closest hurdle for you right now? What's the upcoming biggest thing that's going to stand in your way of progress that isn't spiders?
These honking spiders. I need to get back on my Fitbit game.
Yes.
Because I didn't wear it. I accidentally forgot it at home. That fucked me up. Something that Atomic Habit says is to like never skip 2 days in a row. Once you skip 2 days in a row, it's done.
Yeah.
Hard agree, except for the fact that I was excited to get back to it nutritionally or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the weather is amazing, so I can't blame the weather anymore. What?
God.
I think it just probably overall continuously riding this new mental state.
Yeah. What do you mean by continuously riding it?
Like still just being excited about being fit and self-care and like all of this new lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's sustainable because I am genuinely excited. But I just like I have that doom thing of like I had said in previous episodes, could this really be the time? And I said to Missy recently, and I think in our last session, I was just like, I'm kind of starting to think this could be the time.
Yeah. This could be the one.
Yeah. So
it is exciting and kind of scary.
Yes, like literally equal parts exciting and scary.
Yes.
I was talking to my friend Mindy. Shout out Mindy. She loves this podcast. She's my CrossFitter friend.
Oh yeah. Hi Mindy.
Yeah. That asked if you were competing in
CrossFit. Before Mindy jumps in the chat here. No, I will not be competing in the open. I do not perform CrossFit, sorry.
Because you
don't. I'm sure I think
are playing D&D.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll be busy playing Dungeons and Dragons.
But yeah, so I just kind of like casually mentioned because she's whenever she listens to an episode, she like texts me and tells me how great I am.
That's nice.
Yes, it is very nice. And I was just like, yeah, I'm down this many pounds. And she was just like, damn girl, I thought like you kind of make it sound like you're down like 5 pounds or something in the podcast. And I was just like, well, I'm nervous about saying numbers this early on, and
Sure.
which I'm, definitely still the truth. But that I'm just I hope to eventually come to a point because I follow a lot of people on every platform possible that have gone through giant weight loss journeys. In the beginning, they never say their weight, and then once they are like really, really far, they'll be like, oh, "Girl, I was blank pounds."
Sure.
So yeah, I think I suppose I don't exactly know where I'm going with that.
Do you when you follow those profiles, do you ever find people whose starting weight are similar to your starting weight?
Yes.
And they have found success?
Oh yeah.
How very encouraging.
Yeah, I think it's also really depressing when they say like my starting weight was this, and I'm like, I'd kick a puppy for that weight.
Good weight. I'd kick a puppy for that. I'd kick a puppy for a lot less, but yeah.
I told one of my clients, she was just, I was telling her what the podcast is about, and she was just like, oh yeah, I can like totally relate to that. Me and my friends bitch about being fat all the time, and I'm like, and I said I would kick a puppy to look like you.
Yeah.
And she was like, don't do that. That's sad.
Don't do that. But I guess shout out to women supporting women.
Hell yeah.
No, I bet you look great. I'd kick a puppy for that bod. Damn.
That is a puppy kicking bod. Title.
Could be another title. Puppy kicking bod. Let's see. So
for anybody that I'm their groomer, I would never kick your puppy.
I might. I would.
All right. Well, note to self: don't invite Rob over.
So we've brought up a little bit. I think it's a good time to transition into this section that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
the equal parts excitement and, let's be real, fear about being able to maintaining progress is what you're maintaining momentum is what you're kind of
basically, yeah,
that's what you're talking about here, what you're referencing. And I think that's because you've quote unquote successfully lost weight before, but it turns out maybe that's not the case.
Yeah. Shout out to Missy to always keeping it real.
Keeping it very real.
Yeah, too real, Missy. And she said, yeah, so something to note about you saying, because she listens to the podcast, because she's a real one, and said that you say in your podcast that you've successfully lost weight twice, except that it wasn't successful because you just gained it, and very much plus some.
Whoops.
And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Also, I'm including the 2 times. One was when I was in 4th grade and my mommy was cooking for me. So that's kind of hard to say that, like, I did that.
Yeah, that doesn't... Okay.
Yeah, it's like fucking 9.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty...
I will not discount your experience.
Yeah, it's pretty much just one time. And I do eventually, like, I think both of us, we've talked about it before, that we want episodes that are not all, the theme is just this, themes of other things. And I think we should have, like, a my life story episode, essentially for both of us. Because the other time I have successfully lost weight is when I had lap band surgery, weight loss surgery, which actually kind of ironic that I'm just like talking about on the podcast, because that is the one. See, like, Mom always would say to me, like, Rachel, you know, sometimes it's nice to have secrets about yourself.
Mom would say that.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I was just like, 2 truths and a lie. Let me tell you literally everything. But yeah, I always am brutally open, except for the fact that I've had a weight loss surgery, because of the shame of the fact that it obviously didn't work.
Sure.
But yeah, so that one time that I had lost weight was after the surgery. We'll talk more about that in another episode, but
definitely.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about our next best move, and I think that kind of ties into another thing that you want to talk about. You were mentioning before the show about what counts as exercise, and like maybe experiencing again like a bit of a mental shift around that, or just like your expectations around it. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. You know, normally people, when you think of exercise, you think of going to the gym, lifting weights, doing cardio, whatever. I definitely saw it as that, or doing my bike ride, going for a walk, stuff like that. But I'm also really... Can you stop that noise?
I'm sorry, I didn't know I was picking up. I was just futzing with the pages of my journal here. Sorry.
Yep, I'm aware.
That's just a bunch of spiders, Rachel. You're not hearing anything from my end.
I'm like anal about cleaning. It's not like I have like some incredibly clean house, but like a decently clean house, and literally a flip switched in me. Like, I birthed a baby and then I became anal as fuck about cleaning. Very strange. But anyway,
I mean, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
If there's a time for someone to just suddenly become extremely obsessed with cleanliness, I think like after having a child makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, right. I mean, it was because, you know, like, she was like rolling around on our floors, and the floors had to be nice, and, you know, stuff like that.
I vacuum every day and I clean the fucking things every day. And I think that's much more now that we have a kid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so today I vacuum mopped and sanitized and got on all fours to scrub the floor. I was hauling things.
Cinderella shit.
Yeah. Yes. And I was like prepping the deck for like summertime weather, hauling things up and down, big ass water tables and stuff. Not like they're heavy, but you know. Yeah, so just like staying very active that way. And I'm like, girl, this is activity. And I wish I was wearing my Fitbit today. I actually got...
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. I wore like
Bummer, dude.
I got like a slight owie from my Fitbit, and I'm like friction. Owie. So
It's right. You're talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That stinks.
So I'm kind of letting that heal before I
You can put it on the.
that
You have 2 wrists.
No. So another thing in my life story is the fact
I missed completely somehow.
during my weight loss surgery, they also took my left wrist.
Yeah, you know what counts as weight? Your arm.
Dude, I think about the fact that I'm like, I wonder if when I'm like super close to like some sort of goal thing that I'll just chop my hair off because I have to have at least 8 pounds of hair.
You do have a lot of hair. I don't know if 8 pounds is accurate, but you do have very long hair.
Fuck you, it's 8 pounds of hair.
Okay, never mind. My bad. My bad.
But anyway, yeah. So
yeah.
Staying active. I am bummed that I didn't go for a bike ride, mostly because it's just been a really nice day. But it is definitely hard for me. Something I was thinking about earlier tonight is I should devote like 20 minutes of self-care to myself. Beside, like, I just have a hell of a time taking time to do anything for myself. At least when Linnea is awake.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously I'm doing my skincare and stuff like that, but it would be great.
When you have a young child, self-care time is pooping.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's what you get.
Yes, and now she's figured out how to open the door, and
oh my god.
Yeah,
the fingers under the door like fucking signs.
She could care less if Eric is using the bathroom. If I am using the bathroom, it's the coolest thing in the world.
Kids are so fucking weird, man.
Oh god, yeah. So, yeah, I think thinking of cleaning as exercise is another self-care mind shift or whatever, or not Fit Rachel mindset change.
Yes. An avatar action
in my skin suit.
Fine.
But anyway, all right.
If I can talk about corn, you can say skin suit.
Cool. My corn skin suit.
My corn suit. It probably is a shocking percentage of corn or corn byproduct.
Real. There's corn in diapers.
It's everywhere. You can do it. You can use it for anything. And you probably do without realizing it.
For real.
But yes, activity and exercise. I think there is a good mindset, a good realization here to have for people who maybe are on a similar journey to you or are just not as aware of things as I am, that there is a difference to me between exercise and training. What you were describing as what you think exercise is, going to the gym, lifting weights, running fast, that sort of thing. That is things I would consider, to a certain extent, training. It is a series of repetitive, structured tasks that you are doing for the purpose of getting better at doing other things, or to get better at doing this stuff. Like you train at things to get better at them. Exercise is, I think, sort of the expression of your ability to do things. So like cleaning all day, moving stuff around, riding your bike for recreation. I mean, if you go out and ride your bike to go to the store, you go out to ride your bike to bring a Linnea to a park, that's different than if you go out to ride your bike to like go 20 miles as fast as you can.
For sure.
That would be training. Like bringing your going bike because, like you said, because you want to enjoy being outdoors. That's more like recreation. That is exercise. That is an expression of your body's ability to do things for the purpose of doing them, which I think is more sustainable, valuable, and important than training.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean,
because
personally.
it's like the point of why we do this is prepare your donuts.
I know that's like training for what, bro? Like you're gonna play D&D, you're not gonna join the open.
Fucking fighting bad guys, dude. There's this what's the word? Not a parallelogram.
There's this trapezoid.
There's this fucking no, it's a store that means something else. Anyways, that I've heard a long time ago about monks and Shaolin monks.
Okay.
Not Shaolin monks, but Zen monks, whatever. It's the beginning of the day, and the lead monk is standing outside of the temple, and he's waiting for his 3 students. And the first, they all ride their bikes every day. And the first one rides his bike up, and the head monk asks some student, "Why do you ride your bike to temple every day?" And he says, "Because it is good for my body." And he says, "Oh, well, you'll be an excellent monk someday. That's a really good point. Please step inside." The second monk comes up, and he says, "Student, why do you ride your bike to temple every day?" And he says, "Because it's good for the environment." And he says, "Oh, an excellent point. You'll be an excellent monk someday. Please come in." And then the third guy comes up, and he rides his bike. And the head monk asks him, "Student, why do you ride your bike to temple every day?" And this one stops and thinks for a second. He says, "I ride my bike to ride my bike." And the master says, "Ah, you are an excellent monk. Please come inside." And that story, as weird and esoteric as it is, really stuck with me. Like the action.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hi there. Post recording editing version Rob here. At this point in our recording, my computer blue screened, it crashed, and I had to reboot everything. And I was really afraid that we had lost the entire recording. Like we had mentioned earlier in the episode, we had tried to record this number episode like 2 or 3 times beforehand. So we were both kind of panicking. We managed to get back in, kind of pick up where we left off. So I apologize for the weird transition here, but let's get back into it. We're very close to the end. And listening back, I apologize for telling that story about the monks. I realized it was very long. Okay. I love you. Okay, let's wrap this up. Our next best move, I think, is going to be incorporating more physical exercise and getting back on that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Dan, very cool. All right, thank you guys for listening. Sorry about this weird exit. This has been the RF Fitness Podcast. If you want to learn more about online personal training and maybe jump on a journey of your own, you should go to rffitness.net. RFF. ITNESS.net. I forgot how many F's are there for a second. To learn more and contact me about jumping on your own journey. Rachel, anything you want to say?
I'm tired.
Okay. Rachel, I love you. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Love you too. Bye.